What if one word could get your message blocked before it even sends? That's the reality unfolding around the Epstein saga, and it's got former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene right in the middle of it. After stepping away from her seat in early January 2026, many thought she'd fade into the background. Instead, she's ramping up the heat on something that's been simmering for years, the files tied to Jeffrey Epstein's dark world. And her latest moves? They're not just stirring the pot. They're flipping the whole thing over, especially for those at the top who want it buried. But hold on, because this isn't just about old documents gathering dust. It's about why even whispering the name Epstein seems to trigger alarms across the board. Greene's push has exposed layers of resistance that go way beyond politics, touching on power, secrets, and who really controls what we see and hear. Picture this. Greene wraps up her time in Congress on January 5, 2026, but instead of quietly retiring, she doubles down on a fight that cost her big alliances. Reports from late 2025 show she was one of just a handful of Republicans, 4 to be exact, pushing hard for full transparency on the Epstein investigations. We're talking millions of pages from federal probes into his trafficking ring, flight logs, emails, videos, and more. She didn't back down, even when the pressure mounted from her own party. Now, free from the Hill, she's leaking details, sharing screenshots, and calling out the delays in interviews and posts that have gone viral. It's like she traded her congressional badge for a spotlight on the shadows, and viewers are eating it up because who doesn't love an insider turning the tables? Her resignation letter was blunt, calling out the political-industrial complex for ripping the country apart. She surfed in Costa Rica, posted about living pura vida, but kept hammering on X that America comes first. This shift didn't happen overnight. It built from months of tension, starting when she signed a discharge petition to force a House vote on the Epstein Files Transparency Act. That move, alongside Reps. Thomas Massie, Nancy Mace, and Lauren Boebert broke ranks with the GOP majority. The bill passed overwhelmingly in November 2025, with Trump signing it despite his earlier hoax label. But the real drama? The rollout. The law demanded all unclassified records out within 30 days, by December 19, 2025. That didn't happen. Instead, we got partial drops, heavy redactions, and excuses. Greene's exit amplified the outrage, turning her into a symbol of defiance against the machine. Things got personal fast. Greene has gone public about heated exchanges with the highest office, where she claims the pushback was intense. In interviews, like one with the New York Times Magazine published December 29, 2025, she's described moments where the conversation turned sharp, with warnings that digging deeper would sting close connections. The president yelled at me, was angry at me, told me that his friends would get hurt, and that's why he wanted me to take my name off that discharge petition, Greene recounted. She even suggested inviting Epstein survivors to the Oval Office, but that idea got shot down. This wasn't some casual disagreement. It shattered what was once a tight bond within the party. Trump called her Marjorie Traitor Brown and a traitor for refusing to drop the petition. And it's not hard to see why. Those files could drag names into the light that have stayed hidden for too long. But as Greene steps out, she's making it clear. No more playing nice when the truth is on the line. She's stood with survivors at press conferences, hailing their courage and pushing back on attacks. I was called a traitor by Trump, but Epstein survivors are patriots, she said at one event alongside Reps. Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie. This fallout has fractured MAGA, with Greene later calling it all a lie on podcasts and shows. Her rift highlights a deeper divide, loyalty to party versus accountability. Trump had promised in 2024 to declassify if re-elected, but by June he hedged, saying files contained phony stuff. Greene's revelations paint a picture of direct intervention, fueling questions about whose interests are really being protected. So far, the Department of Justice has trickled out batches, like the big drops in December 2025 and January 2026, totaling around 3.5 million pages, including 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. Sounds impressive, right? But hold your applause. Critics, including Greene, Massie, and bipartisan voices like Khanna and Jamie Raskin, point out it's barely scratching the surface, maybe just 1% of what's there, with estimates putting the full trove at over 6 million pages. Deadlines came and went. A 30-day window for public access, another 15 days for Congress. Ignored. And the redactions? They're thick, blurring out specifics on individuals who might be named, 70% to 80% still blacked out in some files. It's like getting a puzzle with half the pieces missing or entirely censored. Greene's been vocal that this isn't compliance. It's a stall tactic, leaving everyone wondering what's so explosive in the rest. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche announced staggered releases, drawing fire from all sides. Massie posted the law's text on X to highlight the violation, while Senator Rand Paul called it a big mistake. Democrats like Chuck Schumer and Robert Garcia threatened legal action. Even legal scholars like Ryan Goodman chimed in, saying it's outright defiance. The DOJ offered unredacted access to Congress starting February 2026, but only in secure settings. No copies, no leaks. Khanna and Massey reviewed them and uncovered 6 men's names wrongly redacted, accusing the DOJ of scrubbing files to shield identities. This partial transparency has only deepened distrust, with questions about over-redactions contravening the law's letter. Now let's talk about the whispers making rounds online and in reports. There's buzz that the withheld stuff could link big names to Epstein's circle in ways that go beyond what's already known. Rumors suggest ties spanning over a decade for some, with unverified claims of deeper involvement floating in forums, leaks, and media digs. It's been said that figures like former presidents, business tycoons, academics, and entertainers pop up repeatedly. Trump's name alone shows up over 5,000 times in the released bits, in unverified FBI tips, employee recollections, and emails. Bill Clinton, Steve Bannon, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Noam Chomsky, Woody Allen, Bill Gates, and others appear in correspondence, though all deny wrongdoing. Reports claim emails show friendly chats, island visit arrangements, like Howard Lutnick's planned family trip to Little St. James, and even Melania exchanging notes in 2002. But remember, this is speculative territory. Reports claim it, fans debate it, yet nothing's proven until it's out. Green's highlighting these gaps, saying the over-redactions aren't accidents, they're shields. What we know so far hints at a web of influence. Epstein tracking $Me Too fallout, advising accused men, joking about a pariahs club. Files reveal his reactions to cultural shifts, strategizing behind scenes. Survivors react to emails showing his network's breadth, pushing for more. Online, conspiracy theories flourish. Old ones about his death resurface, new ones about why delays persist. Green warns that hiding protects predators, echoing survivors' calls. The Epstein Files Transparency Act aimed to expose all records on Ghislaine Maxwell, flight logs, named officials. Yet, with piecemeal releases, speculation runs wild. Is it covering criminal conduct or just elite embarrassment? It doesn't stop at government offices, though. Platforms are jumping in, and Green's got the proof. Take TikTok. After its 2025 sale to interests aligned with certain circles, users noticed chats vanishing. Green shared a screenshot of a simple message. Just Epstein. Blocked instantly, flagged as against guidelines. Not public posts, mind you, private ones. And it's not isolated. Discussions on Gaza, Minneapolis protests, or other hot topics evaporate too. Rumors point to this as part of a broader clampdown, starting under previous admins but ramping up now. Why block a name? Green argues it's to kill the conversation before it starts, turning basic questions into forbidden territory. But that kind of erase job? It only makes people more curious. She's reminded folks she voted against the TikTok ban, predicting worse censorship post-sale. Screenshots show messages refuse delivery, triggering automated blocks. This extends to X, Facebook, and others, where posts linking Trump to Epstein get shadow banned or removed. Users report algorithm suppression, with engagement tanking on sensitive topics. Green's posts on this have sparked debates, with some calling it systematic erasure. Speculation abounds. Is it tied to ownership changes or political pressure? Reports from NPR and Axios detail how conversations get shut down, raising bigger issues about narrative control. Who decides what's discussable? Green's leaks show even questions about deadlines trigger flags. This censorship backfires, turning whispers into shouts as workarounds spread. Coded language, VPNs, alternative platforms. The backlash is building in creative ways, and it's impossible to ignore. Down in DC, anonymous groups set up massive installations, a giant birthday card echoing an old note from Trump to Epstein, complete with doodles, poems, and a silhouette, inviting passersby to sign with free Sharpies. Nearby, a filing cabinet bursting with papers symbolizes the millions still locked away. These popped up on the National Mall in early 2026, from the same crew that did the Trump-Epstein hand-holding statue last year. Polls are brutal. A CNN survey shows only 6% approve of the administration's handling, with public trust cratering. Congress isn't letting up either. Lead sponsors Khanna and Massey wrote to a federal judge for a special master, a court officer to compel full release. The DOJ pushed back, but pressure mounts with bipartisan letters and threats of contempt. Green's resignation amplified this, turning her into a symbol of defiance. She's appeared on shows like The View and Amanpour and Company, unpacking MAGA riffs. Survivors speak out, reacting to emails and pushing for justice. Art, lawsuits, viral shares turn suppression into spectacle. Online, Wash released the Files trends, with Massey's not suicidal post going mega viral, backed by Green. Protests grow, from streets to screens, as delays become the scandal. The more they clamp down, the louder it gets. Screenshots of blocks spread faster than originals. At its core, this exposes a fight over who controls what we know. When institutions miss deadlines, redact heavily, and platforms auto-block words, trust erodes fast. Green's revelations point to a system protecting itself, where delays aren't bureaucratic, they're strategic. And the pattern? It's too coordinated to dismiss. From DOJ blurs to missing video minutes in Epstein's death probe, skepticism turns into outright doubt. Files show Epstein's elite network giving him a free ride, as the New York Times put it. Business, politics, academia mingling in shadows. This isn't just about one set of files. It's a test of whether power can bury inconvenient truths forever. Green's shift post-Congress shows even insiders can break ranks, forcing us to ask, if they're this desperate to hide, what exactly are we not seeing? Conspiracy theories thrive in the vacuum. Questions about Epstein's 2019 death resurface, with files hinting at inconsistencies. The saga reveals an unaccountable elite, per reports, where the Me Too fallout was tracked. Advice given to accused. Green's crusade challenges that, fracturing alliances and sparking broader debates on transparency. Wrapping it all up, Green's post-Congress crusade has flipped the script on the Epstein files, turning what was meant to be forgotten into front-page fire. From personal clashes at the top to street-level protests, the push for transparency is exposing cracks in the facade. But here's the twist that lingers. If silencing one name requires this much effort, imagine what unleashing the rest could do. It might not just hurt friends. It could redefine who's really in charge. Keep watching, because this story's far from over, and the next leak could change everything. The resistance grows, courts loom, and history shows suppression breeds obsession. Green's moves ensure Epstein remains a symbol of unchecked power and the fight against it.